Hello. You may remember a while ago we looked at a Norwegian rifle, the Yarman, and I have it here. And I can't give you the exact dates and so on. I get too mixed up. I know the history and read it, but to repeat it seamlessly may be pointless. Anyway, Norwegian rifle, military, Yarman, J-A-R-M-A-N-N, but I've been told not to pronounce the J, so I don't, or I try not to. Quite interesting, 32-inch barrel, and it's actually one of my favorite military rifles, although this one's been heavily modified. It's got this very interesting action, and without going into the details, it locks on the bolt handle. We went through this before in the other video, and I'm showing you this because we're going to be looking at a Krag Jorgensen. And I guess we're pronouncing the J there. Anyway, we'll look at a Krag Jorgensen, and this rifle preceded the Krag. Most people don't say Jorgensen, some say Krag Jorgensen. Anyway, I was raised knowing them as Krags. But this was the first rifle, and there were a bunch of deficiencies, and one of the inventors of the Krag Jorgensen obviously had the last name Krag, and he was in charge of a significant area of the Norwegian military. You can read all about that online. Anyhow, he knew this Yarman was not like the rifle that they needed over the long term, that they needed something that was better. So he worked on this design, and then he got the help of a gunsmith, a master gunsmith, Eric Jorgensen. And they came up with this action. Maybe you've seen them around, maybe you haven't. The story has kind of two parts to it, because there's the Norwegian story, which involves this rifle, which is in 6.5 by 55, and it ended up being very satisfactory, and it was adopted by Denmark and Norway. I guess some ended up in South Africa and some other places, the way firearms do. You won't find another action like this one, and I'll show you why in a moment. But some of us recognize it as the 3040 Krag, which was the U.S. interpretation of the Norwegian Krag, and of course the American version was in 3040 Krag. So, which I think you can still buy the ammo. I know I bought some just the other day. Anyhow, the reason it's fantastic, and by the way, this one says 1918 on the receiver ring, is how it works. You open that hatch on the side of the action, and that's how we're going to load it. Now, if you wanted to, you would leave this closed, open the bolt. You'll notice it has the same extractor. You have to flip this out with your finger to take the bolt out. It pivots on this screw. I could show you how to do that next time or sometime. Anyway, then you can drop around into the chamber just like that. Move the bolt forward. Then you open this hatch, and then you drop the ammo in. And I checked this before filming, and I got 6 in. I don't know what the books say, but it worked with 6, just like that. So you can see the ammo is sitting in there. I wasn't particularly careful about how I did that. This is rimless 6.5 by 55 ammo. And then once the magazine is charged, you simply close the door, and you would close the bolt. And then to remove anything, we could open the hatch, or we can... And now it's an empty rifle. Very simple. You can see part of the action on the other side. The fire control mechanism, safety and everything is something like a Mauser. You flip up here. Oh, I should pause for a second. One of our viewers, Michael Brooker, but he's not the only one, I had many messages about maybe I should explain why I always pull the trigger. So you'll see me do this just out of habit. I pull the trigger, and then I close the bolt. On Mauser 98, on all of them, I just do it, well, like most shooters, that's just what we do. So why do we do that? Because now the gun's not cocked. So you could check that it's, you know, not, there are no cartridges. You could close it. Now it's cocked, and then you could hold the thumb piece back and release it. Okay, that's another way. But I find that the safest and best way to close a bolt action is to just hold the trigger down and close the bolt handle. So now it's not cocked. And actually it's not a bad way to go hunting. You could put a round in the chamber, so pretend you had done that, and then you want to shoot. You just cock the action. Now, not all bolt actions have a cocking piece like that, but some do. And for you lever gun shooters, like myself, if you have a hammer, then it's about the same. You just lower the hammer and you're good to go the minute you pull the hammer back. So except these are striker fired, and I guess the Savage 99, not much you can do there because it's a striker fired. Anyway, that's all a footnote. So that's what we have, and the reason I put the Springfield on the table was simply to evoke the recollection that this was the rifle that came after the United States used the 30-40 Krag. And there are lots of twists and turns, and there are wonderful channels that go into the detailed history. I tend to be more focused on the guns themselves and to show you the actions, and the next phase of my channel will be we go to the range and we actually shoot these rifles that you've seen. But a lot of viewers, especially younger viewers and viewers in other countries where there's less freedom, have just never seen or heard of quite a number of the guns I show. So I'm very happy to share them with you. And of course this Krag mechanically is excellent, no issues there. The bore is excellent, which isn't always the case. The rear sight is perfect. I'm sure it'll be accurate. Unfortunately, the stock has been chopped up. It looks like an air rifle right now. It used to have, I mean, it would have had a beautiful stock, but it fell victim to that period where everybody was trying to make a, you know, a sporter that looked like a factory rifle. Anyway, I highly recommend buying these whenever you see them at a decent price. I mean, sometimes you see them for $100 just because nobody knows what they are. Some people are critical of this action because it only has one locking lug instead of two, but the pressures aren't that high. And, you know, even if you manage to break this locking lug off somehow with pressure, you still have the bolt handle that's in the rear of the action. So I've seen a few bolt actions subjected to pressure, and well, I've never seen one where the bolt actually was blown up, so to speak. They usually bind. If something breaks up front or in the back, if they're rear locking, they usually seize up. They come out at an angle. Sometimes extractors blow out, ejectors blow out, both faces fall apart. But typically they don't go backwards. Of course, it has happened, and I'm sure people will write me with horrible stories, true stories, but it's just that I've never seen it. So I'm quite confident with bolt actions. So I hope that shed some light on the Krag. This was a rifle that was commented on by many viewers since I started this channel, and I just didn't have one around. As usual, I have a story to tell. I had a fantastic Krag Sporter. I can't remember where I bought it, maybe at an auction a long time ago. It was checkered. It was just a beautiful piece of work. And then for some reason somebody came along, a fellow collector. I think I probably could find the rifle. I think it's in Texas, but anyhow. So here I am back at square one, and I mean, this could be fashioned into a lovely sporter. 6.5 by 55 is a fantastic cartridge. Everybody's running to the Creedmoor but the 6.5 by 55 Swedish Mauser is, well, just have a look at the ballistics. So that's about it. We looked at the Krag, we talked about the Yarman, we talked about the 3040 Krag and the Springfield 03, and I think that's about it. So more videos to come, and what I'll try to do is give you an idea of what's on Patreon, because there are more videos there, but I don't have a list and I don't want to mislead you with the wrong titles. So thank you very much for watching, and we're going to update on the next video some loose ends, including one of the subjects we talked about right now with how to close a bolt without cocking it. And then we're going to make a video to update the semi-automatic rifle video that I made a couple of years ago. So that's about it. I hope that's informative for you, and everybody take care out there, and we'll see you next time.